I taught ADPS, which is automatic data processing, computer programming.
Oh, at that time?
At that time,
They had computer in 1960?
Oh, that's another story. they had the first mobile digital computer that
Mobile digital computer?
It was called the Moby Dick.
How big is it? Don't say this like this.
How big is the computer? This was the first mobile computer invented.
Yeah.
And it was invented by Sylvania.
Ah, yeah, I know.
And
I
it was
used to have a
sponsored-
Sylvania TV.
It was sponsored by the United States government, so the United States government got Sylvania into the computer business, and they did it for a few years, just short years, and then they promptly were out of the computer business because IBM and all these other companies were really much quicker at it. Anyway, the service had them build a mobile computer that could be taken onto the battlefield. And this computer consisted of 3 transfer trailer 18-wheelers, transfer trailers. And in one of them you had the computer. In a second one, second truck, you had the air conditioning to keep it cool. And in the third one you had your input-output devices. I believe that's the way they had it organized.
Yeah, okay.
And power supply and things like that. So it was very interesting. I went down and visited the computer one night. I was able to go. And I got into the truck and was able to see the computer. But that's the only time I actually touched the computer and had worked with it. But it was called the Moby Dick. It was the Mobile Digital Computer, the Moby Dick, by Sylvania. And Fort Monmouth had 2 of them, I think it was.
2 of them, wow.
A couple of them were made anyway. But I was learning a little bit about the internal workings of computers, and I learned, I knew what buses were, I knew what all the things were. And they were all separate, see? You had separate entities, but pretty soon they started combining them. And after this, they took the digital computer and the analog computer, and finally, in about 1980, they put them together.
Wow.
So that you now have both analog and digital working in the same box. But they had the analog separate, and that was for your artillery. That did traces of the artillery.
I see.
So they had the artillery type thing, and then they had this digital, which gave you factual information.
I see.